What an absolutely beautiful card right here. This is Crystal Golem from the Skyridge expansion of Pokemon TCG coming out in 2003, 2004, something like that. I don't know. 20 years ago. Yeah, going for heavily played reverse hollow foil. Heavily played there, $100. That's a pretty good price. And would you believe me if I told you that what we're going to be ranking today, this is the cheapest card of that set? Today, guys, we are talking about Crystal Pokemon. Now, we're talking about the Pokemon trading card game, TCG here. There are only 9 of these Pokemon ever created, and they, kind of discontinued this theme. Crystal Pokemon, as we just saw with Golem, our Pokemon, they're all going to be colorless type. We can see they look very colorful, crystally. And it seemed like this was very much a precursor to what we have now in Generation 9 in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet for the Switch, where these Pokemon were meant to use kind of all of the different types. We see here that Earth Bomb, Golem's attack, uses grass, fire, fighting, and colorless. If we look over here like Crobats, it uses psychic, grass, fire, and colorless as well. And we can see that kind of on all of them. Excuse me, this is actually the wrong Charizard. We'll get to Delta species in a bit. This is a lightning type Charizard. That's actually for later. All right, back to Crobat there. We see here Celebi here coming with a water psychic. Colorless and grass there. So we're going to go ahead and be ranking these cards by what I think they look like. First of all, just straight up, like, do I think they look cool? And then after that, if you're interested in which ones cost the most, I'll do that after. So skip to ahead somewhere in the video. There probably won't be a timestamp because I'm probably going to forget. But anyway, yeah, so we're S to D tier here. Honestly, none of these are F tier. They're all great. Golem's probably my least favorite design if we look at Golem here. It's kind of hard to see what's going on from far away. When you have the much bigger image here, you can tell, but right here, yeah, D tier. I don't think it's very good. Now, Kingdra here, I do think is very, very good. Kingdra going to go up in B tier for me. Lugia, I think, is also a very, very fun design. Going to put that in B tier as well. Now, Nidoking, one of my favorite Pokemon here, has a very flat design on his Crystal Pokemon. Very flat compared to the other ones. However, I do still think it's a good design. He looks like a strong, roaring monster of a Pokemon. So I'm also going to put that in B. B here being our above average tier for the day. C being our mid tier as we go here. Now, I think Celebi has an A tier look about her. We already kind of showed Celebi here. And you're seeing some teasers of the price, but I promise you haven't seen anything yet. 275 is the cheapest Celebi available on TCG Play right now. This is a heavily played copy of it from Hobbytown USA Lincoln. Believe me, that is a good price for this card. If I had $275 to throw around, I think I might snag that because it's actually a good price for this card, which is just absolute insanity. But we'll get to that. Charizard, very long neck in this design. Gonna put it up there in the A tier, though. I do think it works. I do think it's good. Taking a look at Crobat. Almost a shiny Crobat kind of look with almost a pinkish look to it instead of purple. I actually love that. I think Crobat is, it probably was in the thumbnail as well. I think it's probably the best looking Crystal Pokemon. It just shines. I mean, yeah. By the way, these cards look very different from modern Pokemon cards because these are e-readers cards meant to work with a little scanner that scanned Pokemon cards for a couple sets. That was a thing. That hasn't been a thing in about 20 years, though. Going next to Ho-Oh and Kabutops. Those are our last two. Ho-Oh, let's take a closer look at. Not a huge fan of the art. Again, similar thing here with Golem, where when you really zoom in on it, I do think it looks fine. But from far away, looking like this, I'm going to put it in mid-tier. I just don't think it's that great. And then Kabutops, he does have a nice pose here where he looks like he's about to slice with his sword arms. Also, again, we see this colorless gimmick happening here. He is fighting water, lightning, and colorless here as well. But overall, it's a very almost like water pastel type look to it. I don't know if that's translate. I don't know if that is what that is. I'm not a painter. But it's just there's not a lot of hard lines on his design. I don't know. I'm going to say it's mid. It's not my favorite in the world. It's definitely not the worst thing ever. And yeah, that's it. Those are the 9 Crystal Pokemon. So that's how I would rank them. Oh, that was a little too much zoom. So this is how I would rank them based on just how they look. And now in a sec here, let's go ahead and take a look at what they cost. And we're going by market value. which you'll see here in a minute. We're not talking about the lowest one available. We're going to talk about what this card is worth on average on TCG Player, which is the, premier place to buy Pokemon cards and whatnot. So let's take a look at that. And when we start talking prices, again, median price, market value on these cards, this is what we're looking at now. This is an average of everything, so all conditions thrown on in here, from damaged copies, heavily played, like we saw a couple of them being listed here with the heavily played Golem, to all the way up to pristine near mint copies. The market price on Lugia is actually just not available. It literally says unavailable. However, the median list price right now for, I think there's only like 8 listed, but it's about $1,600. So absolutely insane money we're talking about here. This is for the English copies as well. I know this tier list has Japanese copies for some of these pictures, but this is also for the English copies on TCG Player, just to be clear about that. Now, Celebi and Charizard both fetching over $1,000. Celebi there $1,489 and Charizard there $1,200. What's interesting here is these cards, these 9 cards, don't all actually come from the same set. There's 2 sets that released the Crystal Pokemon. We have Aquapolis. I'm sure there was an easier way to say that. I could have just gone here and read it yet. Aquapolis. And that released Lugia. That released right here Nidoking. And then that released Kingdra. So I'm not sure what happened with Kingdra down here. But that definitely helps Nidoking's price here. Nidoking $465. Actually a bit ahead of the other 2 Pokemon in this tier. We have Crobat with $350 and Kabutops right after it with $349. And the $200 Ho-Oh. By the way, the rest of these cards come from Skyridge. So again, another look at this Ho-Oh. Skyridge is this set. Ho-Oh here going for $275. Kingdra $250. And then I told you at the beginning of the video, Golem. This is actually a very cheap card compared to the other ones. $100 for a heavily played reverse copy. We go down here, we see some in the $120, $140, $145. Not sure why this damaged reverse copy is going for $145. Let's take a look at this. This guy includes some images. Oh my god. Wow. And he listed this for $145. That is the exact market price. Now, I'm not sure he's going to get that for a damaged copy, but still, we can see absolutely insane prices that some of these Crystal Pokemon are going for. So if you play the Pokemon TCG, or even if you don't, have you ever even heard of these cards? I was reminded that they even existed after Scarlet and Violet came out, and they reused the terastallizing, crystally kind of changing type effect. Yeah, so I was reminded these 20 years ago. Some of them still look amazing. I definitely don't own any of them, and I definitely would be a lot richer if I did. So with all that said, here's how I'd rank them. Let me know in the comment section what you think, and if I should rank anything else, Pokemon, trading cards, or literally anything else. Check out some of my other videos if you have an idea of literally what random means. I will do pretty much anything, but let me know if you have an idea. With all that said, guys, thank you for watching, and have a great day.